Welcome back to the channel. We're here with the post Bash at the Beach WCW Nitro. We're going to jump right into the show. A lot of stuff to get to here before on the road to the next pay-per-view, which is Clash of the Champions. And the first thing we have to start off the show is in a poor pre-show match, Hugh Morris does defeat Devon Storm in 10 minutes. This is strictly just to get Hugh Morris back on the winning track. We haven't really used him all that much besides being a low mid-card guy. So this is the whole point, is just to get him kind of back on the winning ways. 53 out of him, Storm at 35, 49 rating. Also on a pre-show bout that had decent wrestling but little heat, those Southern Boys, which is Jamie Noble and Kid Cash, defeated 3 count in 9:47 when Kid Cash pins Evan Courageous for the Moneymaker. Noble at 53, Cash at 51, Moore at 50, Courageous at 54, 47 rating. Good stuff out of these guys. Those Southern Boys are just kind of in that weird spot where they're the low mid-card tag team, and then 3 count will be going through a repackage coming soon, so enjoy that. And let's get to the main show. So we get a recap of the finale of the Bash at the Beach. So remember, Booker T had Scott Steiner won. Obviously, the ref was down. Steiner hit Booker T with a foreign object and then put them in Steiner recliner for the victory due to submission. And then as the show went off the air, Sting was seen up in the rafters pointing the baseball bat at Scott Steiner as we went off the air. So who knows what's going to happen tonight? Will Sting show up? How will Booker T react to Scott Steiner cheating? And how great does Scott Steiner feel about the fact that he cheated to beat Booker T and now has to worry about Sting eventually? So 70 rating there. Scott Steiner hits the ring, cuts a promo talking about what happened at Bash at the Beach. Says he proved to everybody, just like he did to Kevin Nash and now to Booker T, that he is the best wrestler here in WCW, and he's not worried about this so-called Sting that he can just hide up in the rafters and that he's the guy that's supposedly going to try to challenge him. He's not worried about it. He's faced Sting before. Doesn't scare him at all. 71 rating there. Booker T interrupts, though, and says that Scott Steiner, the only reason why you beat me was because you had to hit me with a foreign object just to get the advantage. I had you beat twice, and eventually it's going to come back to you that I will be facing you again and that I will defeat you for the WCW Championship. 70 rating there. Ric Flair comes out, and he says he wants a shot at the WCW Championship. It's his time to get that belt back where it rightfully belongs. Booker T disagrees, and Scott Steiner says he doesn't fight the elderly, so he will not defend the championship against a deranged Ric Flair. 73 rating there. Bischoff hits the ring and says, tonight, you guys can argue all you want, but Booker T, you're going to face Bam Bam Bigelow. Ric Flair, you're going to face Shane Douglas. And Steiner, you have the night off, so rest up after a grueling match at Bash at the Beach. A little favoritism here from Bischoff, but Booker and Flair are both in great singles matches against 2 guys who were in steel cage match last night, so depends how you kind of look at it on who's really getting the fair deal here. 68 rating there. Good opening promo. We got our first match of the evening. Tommy Dreamer defeats Alex Wright in about that decent wrestling and didn't have much heat in 7 minutes with a Dreamer DDT. Dreamer at 51, Alex Wright at 48. So Dreamer and RVD are no longer a team anymore, and after their feud with Shane Douglas and Bam Bam Bigelow has run its course. Hit a 50 on the match here, so Dreamer's on his own in the mid-card, trying to see where he can go, and Alex Wright is just kind of that floating mid-card right now, who I'm trying to find something to plan with him, and I'm really having a hard time. So if you have any ideas, please let me know, but right now he's just kind of floating. Backstage, Shane Douglas and Bam Bam Bigelow are cutting up promos saying that, you know what, we did come up short last night, but it is what it is. We have better things to do to go about and go see Bischoff. We're not here to do his bidding with whatever he wants us to do tonight, facing Booker and Flair. We work for ourselves. And then as Bischoff walks up to him and says, we need to talk right now. So 57 rating there. So something's brewing here with Bischoff, Shane, and Bam Bam. All right. In a decent match, Billy Kidman defeats Kaz Hayashi in 7:30 by pinfall with a shooting star press. Kidman at 53, Hayashi at 57. Tori Wilson already should be a babyface, so that might have to fix in the next promo here. Kidman gets the win over Kaz Hayashi as he is now building momentum to hopefully eventually go after the Cruiserweight Championship. Crowd got the match hotter, a 55 rating. Good stuff there, boys. This will finally turn Tori Wilson babyface. There we go. Now we don't have that problem. I don't care there's a 33 rating. This is just stating that Billy Kidman is ready for championship gold, and he's coming after the Cruiserweight champion, whoever that may be eventually. So we had a promo there with Bischoff, Bam Bam, and Shane, where they're all in the office. And Lance Storm gets chewed out by Bischoff, says, "You can take the night off. You've already failed me this week." And shuts the door on him, and then shuts the door so that way no one can see Bam Bam and Shane talking to him. As we come back from commercial, Booker T does defeat Bam Bam Bigelow in a decent match at 9:45 with a quick cradle, so a quick little roll up by Booker outsmarts the big man Bam Bam Bigelow. Booker T at 64, Bam Bam at 45. Crowd got the match hotter, 55 rating there. Booker T gets a solid win. Bam Bam has a solid Nitro match. We get a promo where Little Guido comes down to the ring, introduces us to his new Italian militia, which is formerly known as the Mexicools of Psychosis and Super Crazy, and that they have joined him to become the most dominant group in WCW and to make sure the Cruiserweight Championship does not go anywhere near anybody else in professional wrestling. And that Little Guido is, the leader of this mafia, and that they are going to follow his lead. So 51 rating there. Remember at Bash at the Beach, Psychosis and Super Crazy caused Guido to defeat Shane Helms. So. And about had terrible wrestling and non-existent crowd heat. Mexicools defeat two rookies in Jason Cross and Sonny Siaki in 6:09 when Super Crazy pinned Sonny Siaki with a trifecta moonsault. Super Crazy at 50, Psychosis at 48. The other two guys are jobbers, so no harm, no foul. Their 41 rating just gets them a win. Post-match, Shane Helms comes out and gives props to Little Guido for finding his backup and that he can't just defeat Shane Helms on his own. Next week, I'll face off against each week I'll face off against one of your militia that you supposedly have. Next week it's Shane Helms versus Super Crazy. So 45 rating there. Make that pre-booking real quick. Versus Shane Helms next week. Cool. So that's on the Nitro next week. Chris Kanyon cuts a promo saying that now that he's the #1 contender, he will be the next WCW United States Champion. He's already taken out Diamond Dallas Page and showed how easily he could do it. It only takes one move for him to defeat Diamond Dallas Page, and he says, "Who's better than Kanyon?" And that he is the rightful owner of the WCW United States Championship, and that Page is just holding onto that title for him. 60 rating there out of Chris Kanyon. And in a decent match, Chris Kanyon defeats Road Warrior Animal in 7:53 with a flatliner. Chris Kanyon at 59, Road Warrior Animal 52, and they have great chemistry at 56 rating there. Solid stuff. Kanyon gets a good win. Post-match, Page comes out and says, Ken, you're a smart man. You would have thought that you would have noticed what Jeff Jarrett made the mistake, but you made the same one. You made sure that I was able to come back. You didn't just take me out of my misery where you could. Instead, now you have to face off with me next week for the WCW United States Championship, and that's a 65 rating there. So we got another pre-booking next week. The WCW United States Championship is on the line, as it is Chris Kanyon versus Diamond Dallas Page. Remember, Chris Kanyon did win that Battle Royal, the pre-show Battle Royal at Bash at the Beach to become the #1 contender. So that'll be a matchup that we'll have next week. Totally Buff cut a promo backstage about regaining their tag team championships. In the ring, talking about winning their tag team championships and defeating AJ Styles, Mark Jindrak, Sean O'Haire, and Chuck Palumbo. As they're talking, though, they do get interrupted by AJ Styles and Mark Jindrak, saying, the only reason why you guys snuck away with the victory last time was because you guys had to use a foreign object just to defeat us. If you guys actually wanted to be real men, you would actually just face us in a match next week for the WCW Tag Team Championships with no funny business, 57 rating. But then the Natural Born Thrillers come out and said that, we also deserve a shot. Like, we were screwed out of the WCW Tag Team Championships by these two last night as well. So next week, #1 contenders match, we have Natural Born Thrillers versus Pinpoint. So let's pre-book that as well. And it will be pinfall or submission only. There will be no DQs, so Totally Buff cannot cause a disqualification, and only one of these teams will face off against Totally Buff at the next pay-per-view. 58 rating there. In a decent matchup, Rey Mysterio Jr. defeats Sean Stasiak in 7:47 with a springboard Hurricane Rana. Rey Mysterio 68, Sean Stasiak 36. Good lord. 58 rating there. Sean Stasiak's my main jobber. He's going to be gone sooner rather than later. And Mysterio picks up a win, and Mysterio's really starting to pick up momentum. He got that W last night against Rhino, so Rey Mysterio is really pushing his way towards that upper echelon of the mid card here. 58 rating. Backstage, we got Ric Flair cutting a promo saying, I mean, my intention's very clear. I want Scott Steiner's WCW Championship, but if that means I have to go through Shane Douglas tonight to get there, or Booker T, or Bam Bam Bigelow, I don't care. I don't know what Sting's game is. Obviously, as our history shows, Sting and I are not on the same page ever. So whatever happens, happens, but I will find my way to get to that WCW Championship. 62 rating there. Ended about that great heat and decent wrestling. Ric Flair does defeat Shane Douglas in 9:31 by disqualification when Bam Bam Bigelow hits the ring. Ric Flair with a 58, Douglas a 56. Storylines advance, 60 rating. Bam Bam Bigelow and Shane Douglas are putting the boots to Ric Flair. Just trying to beat him down, 56 rating there. So clearly that's what Bischoff wanted. However, Booker T makes the save, clearing out the ring of the heels as him and Ric Flair stand tall to finish the show, and that's a 64 rating there. So why did Booker T come and save Flair from Shane and Bam Bam? I mean, I know Booker T faced off with Bam Bam late early in the night, but this is kind of surprising. Let's finish the show and see what we got for a final rating. Alright, 64, that's solid. Popularity gained in 32 regions. We were in front of 2,600 people. I will take that. This is the first show after a pay-per-view, so we're starting some new stories out. We got 3 matches booked right now for next week already, so that helps a lot with, building our stories. No Rhino this week. He there was no spot for him this week, so we'll see him next week most likely. Sting was not here this week, so we'll see kind of what's going on with that and why Sting did not show himself tonight, but he showed himself at Bash at the Beach. Scott Steiner did get the night off from wrestling, but we did have him in the promo, and he didn't get involved at the end of the show. Lance Storm getting ridiculed by Bischoff. What does that mean now? Little Guido introducing us to his mob of, Psychosis and Super Crazy, and Chris Kanyon pushing forward for that United States Championship next week. So we'll see what kind of happens there. Until next time, though, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all the good things. Make sure you're posting on the forum for any, guesses on pay-per-views, or if you're enjoying the cards or anything like that. Please let us know. But until next time, we'll see you on the next show.